Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm joined by Tom and Ross from Just Move In, and we're here to talk about sustainability in the estate agency industry. Um, Ross, Tom, you've just published a report focusing on sustainability in the estate and letting agency industry. Why should agents care? Talk.
I think I'd flip that question around and say, why wouldn't they care? I think we all have families and many of us have children, and I think we've all got a duty to make sure the world is in a good place for the next generation coming through. So I'd say that's the starting point. In the moment that the time is sustainability is very topical at the moment. The UK is hosting COP26 in Glasgow at the end of the year. The International Governmental Panel on Climate Change has just released the latest report, and I think the two sort of key soundbites they took away from that was it's code red, time's running out. So we need to act as a country and as a nation and as individuals around the world. So I think agents should play their part in that mission.
Okay, so what came out in the report, Ross, that could be of interest to estate agents?
So there's a lot of stats in there, so it'd be great for people to go and download it and digest it and have a look at themselves. But
how do they get the report? Whilst we think about it.
So they go to our website and they can download the report.
What's the website?
From there, justmovein.com.
Okay, and is it on the home page? They can.
The agent section, they can see it'll pop up and they can see there's a whole content hub there and they can download the report from there.
Good stuff.
So I think one of the stats that came to surface was 82% of estate agents recognise that sustainability is really important for their customers and their employees. But actually only a third of agents think that their agency is doing enough. And so I think that just highlights the will of everybody, because everybody is a consumer, whether you're the boss of the company or the cleaner. Everyone is on the planet, right? And everyone cares about this stuff. So I think that particular stat just highlights that agents are already doing some good things. And this isn't us sitting here saying agents are doing nothing. We think agents are doing a lot of really good stuff within the world of sustainability. But actually, there's more that we can all do. But it needs to become a focus, and actually some effort needs to go into it to ensure that it's the priority as opposed to just an afterthought.
We'll come on to what they can do as some quick wins to be more sustainable, but were there any other stats in that report which certainly raised an eyebrow with you and others in the industry?
Well, I one of the stats actually we were aware of going into writing that report is that 40% of emissions come from the household, so the home and people living in those homes. So what's then, I think, pretty powerful is the influence that agents could have over that sort of large body of emissions. I think within the report itself, there's a big opportunity for agents to go and do more, and that was the main thing that was sort of highlighted within the report. So.
Okay, so certainly, I mean, if you say 40% of emissions come from houses, I know the government are seriously considering focusing their mortgage companies on their EPC rating, and that those that are lending to lower grade EPC houses will have higher rate mortgages. So I think that will certainly have an influencing factor. But let's bring it back to estate agents. What could estate agents do? I know it's not quick wins, but even if they move one thing, at least one step closer to where we need to get, what can agents be doing?
Well, a really simple thing is to look at the emissions of the business itself. Are their offices powered by 100% renewable energy? That's a relatively straightforward, easy thing to achieve.
So that's just picking your supplier, isn't it?
Picking the right supplier, and I think agents are used to talking about suppliers and energy of their own movers, their customers, but how often do they think about the energy that's powering their own offices? So that would be the kind of the straightforward, simple step. I think secondly, setting out some form of plan to become net zero. So that covers everything that the agency does. So how are they? What transport are they using? What other appliances are they using in the office? Can they use lower consuming appliances?
So great ideas there, but surely we have a responsibility to help the people we move as well, because if we can influence them, then we are exponentially helping the planet.
And I think that's the super exciting thing about being agents. They're touching people at the point of moving home when a lot of their bills and services and lifestyles are being changed. So it's a perfect opportunity to kind of, quietly influence those people and steer them towards better products and services.
Do you think agents are very good at that?
I think agents are doing okay, and some are doing better than others for sure. If you look at Chesterton's, they've just got to net zero, and they've done that by replacing all of their existing cars with EVs. They're offsetting a lot of their emissions by working with third-party organisations to help them do more. Leaders Romans have just come out and done a new planting initiative. So there's big agencies that are making strides. I think for the smaller agencies, there's perhaps there's a nervousness, and we found within the survey that 60% of agents felt they didn't have the know-how to actually roll this stuff out. So I think we need to look at Property Mark, we need to look at all the other industry bodies that exist.
Does this report you talk about actually highlight things that they can do?
Yes. So within the guide, there are practical steps they can take to becoming more sustainable, which looks at loads of different areas. There's also a separate report that we brought out, or a guide really, last year, and that is on ways that agents can take practical steps to becoming more sustainable as a business. So the two kind of work in tandem.
And again, all they need to go is to your website, justmovein.com, and then go to is there a tab that says agents?
There is indeed.
It just says agents?
Yeah, just as agents.
And then all the stuff that we're talking about there, is it?
Yeah, correct.
Good stuff. Just before we go, Just Move In does actually help estate agents with a switching service. And again, we don't want to turn this into a promo, but I know environmental issues are really strong on your storyboard. What can you do with agents to help them with that?
So we, I guess, look after a range of sort of core utilities. Every house that we help, we switch to 100% renewable energy. I think when we look at other suppliers within that midst, again, we look at their eco credentials along with customer service, and to make sure that they're kind of nice suppliers that we're making a recommendation to. So we're beginning to ramp that up over time. We plant a mangrove tree for every customer that we help. The reason we plant mangrove trees is that they are the most carbon sequestering tree out there. So these are our kind of current steps, but we have to admit we're on our own journey, and we're slowly kind of improving how we operate.
And agents can earn money from this as well. So not only are they doing good, they can earn money as well.
They can do, and it's actually something that we're beginning to look at with existing clients, is actually what could they do with that pot of money that goes back to them traditionally. And that's kind of how the industry has emerged. So if you look at someone like Hamptons that we work with, they donate all of the money that would otherwise go to them to supporting the charity that they support, which is the Marine Conservation Society. And so that's now used as a messaging internally, both for their staff who are massively behind it, but also their customers now know that as part of using our service through Hamptons, they will get access to it.
So not only will you help the estate agents' clients swap to green energy, the money that comes back can also help the estate agents' favourite charitable cases.
Exactly, and that could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Marine Conservation Society. It could
but
be
they could take the
the
money if they
local
wanted to.
Heart Foundation, or they could do, of course, they can donate it to whatever they want, and we help facilitate that process.
How much can roughly an agent earn per switch?
Oh, it depends entirely on
ballpark.
volumes. It's probably around £10 per service is a good figure.
But it all adds up. If an agent's doing 200, that's £2,000, which is nothing to sniff at, is it?
No, I think it's about using that money for kind of maximum effect, and if that allows them to create a nice kind of message and story to then help attract other customers.
I earn about £70-80 a month from my YouTube channel, which I give all to charity.
There you go, Chris.
There you go, so we're all winning. So thank you very much for your time today, Tom Ross.
Pleasure.
And it's been insightful. I'd like to talk about other topics, which we'll do in the next video. Thank you.